countries, where are students would like to study. So today my video will talk about 2 great countries good for students. Now, Germany or UK to study, which is the best for students? If you haven't subscribed to the and like, share, and comment in the comment section. Just share the video so that it reaches many people. Now, let's see. We are coming to talk about the pros and cons considering schools in both Germany and UK. Now, we will look at the following: tuition fees, living cost, admission rate, the option to work while studying, taxes, the visa requirements, and option to live in both countries, of course, after graduation. And of course, we also tackle the health insurance, employability after graduation, language barrier, yes, and then the culture. Let's start with tuition fees. All right. So with the tuition fees, in Germany, there are no tuition fee except in private universities or in some courses, okay? Even in public universities, it depends on the course that you want to do. So there are some certain courses which you have to pay for tuition fee. Other than that, there is actually no tuition fees in Germany, okay? Almost 90% of public universities are tuition free, yeah? And the private universities, as I always say, that you'd have to pay tuition fee. But of course, you also pay a semester fee from 300 to 500 euros, depending on which state or city you are. This allows you to take the transport system for free. And yeah, it also includes administration fee for the university. Okay. Now let's look at UK. Tuition fees in UK ranges from like 9,000 to 11,000 pounds. But with that is even for an international student, then you might pay like double this price or 1.5 of this price, right? So tuition fees is actually like very expensive in UK as compared to Germany. Okay, living cost. Now with living cost, uh, in Germany, the living cost is a little slightly lower than in the UK. Okay. If you are a student, you should spend like 861 euro approximately. Okay, so let's just round it up to 900 euros a month. Okay, it's not even up to 900 euros. It's like 861 euros per month, and this includes your, of course, your rent, right? And then your health insurance, whatever you groceries and all that. Okay, so a student needs this amount of money to live on in Germany. Let's look at UK. So in UK, one will need an average of 954 per month. Can be lower or higher depending also on the city that you are in. For instance, if you live in London, then you should be prepared to pay a higher a higher rent, of course, and then this would raise your living expenses. Okay, but if you live in like in cities far from the UK, like Telford and other cities, then the rent is quite moderate for students. Okay, so that is the living cost for you. All right, but of course, same in Germany. If you live in cities like Berlin or Munich or Hamburg, you should be prepared to pay a higher rent. Okay, so it actually affects your living costs. Yeah, but if you live in places like Trier or maybe um, in the small cities, okay, then the living expenses can be a little bit lower. Okay. Now, admission rates, the rate of which like international students come to both countries. Okay, so for the UK, it is known that the admission rate is very high as compared to Germany. Yes, that's the statistics. So, um, this information is current, okay, that about like 728,780 and 570,475 were accepted, which is like approximately 78%. That is for UK. Okay, so this data is quite recent, okay? But the issue is that for Germany, the admission rate is about 30% lower. So you can imagine if UK is taking like 70% or 78%, then if it's 30% lower, then Germany will be taking like 48% of international students. So it's quite it's quite like it's very funny. But this shouldn't demotivate you for you to apply to come to Germany. Okay, if you really want to come to Germany, this should not be a barrier at all. All right. Know that when you apply in a private university, the probability you will be taken is very high in Germany. Yeah, because for private university, the tuition is very, very high. So, like most private universities take a lot of students than the public universities. Yeah. The option to work while you are studying. Let's look at that one too. Yes, in Germany, you are allowed to work as a student, as I've always said, you can work 20 hours a week, okay? And then you can as well take a mini job where you'll be paid 520, which is not taxed, yeah? And even as a student, you can even work um, 20 hours a week where you will earn like 900 or 1,000 euros a month, okay? And you'll be taxed, but you'll be taxed appropriately according to your status because you are a student. So you will not be taxed as a normal employee, okay? Yeah. Of course, you can work 120 full days or 240 half days per year. Yes, yeah. And you can also find easy jobs like in Germany, okay, they are very open to hire working students and interns and stuff like that. So you can find them and you can apply and you'll be picked. For UK, finding a job in the UK during your studies is a little bit difficult because most companies or employers prefer employees with experience, okay, than like students, right? So you should know that. You should note also that unpaid internships are very, very high in the UK, okay? Unlike in Germany, most of the internships are paid. If you are doing an internship in Germany, the probability you will earn a little, okay? Even if it's not high, you'll be like paid a little, okay? Yeah. Let's come to visa requirements. So with the visa requirement, it looks like Germany is a little bit cumbersome as compared to UK because with the UK, they will just ask you to bring your passport, photo, university acceptance letter, proof of funds, English test, and then the medical test, okay? But for Germany, in addition to all that, you'd have, of course, Germany does not do a medical test unless you are you are bringing your family or something like that. A family, if you want to bring your family or family reunion, then they will do some checks, and but that is not even common, okay? But as a student, you do not do any medical test before your visa requirements, okay? um but with Germany, you need a motivational letter stating your intentions of studying in Germany. You will also possibly look for proof of accommodation, but Now, the embassy knows that accommodation in Germany is a little bit cumbersome. Like finding accommodation is a little bit difficult. So, as of now, they do not actually, okay, but it might be that they will ask, but they do not actually ask for proof of accommodation. Okay, yeah. Know that the Germany visa processing time is slower than the UK. Okay, as a student, let me tell you something. If you should submit your application for visa as a student in Germany, it can take you like 1 to 2 months, okay, because they are telling you to apply 3 months prior to your departure. So you could imagine, okay, but for UK, it's just something really fast. And then the option to leave and work after graduation. Let's see that one too. Option to leave and work after graduation. That is the most important thing. So in Germany, you can stay for like 18 months after your graduation, 18 solid months after your graduation. Within this month, okay, you were expected to look for a decent job, not any other job, not a lager job, not a cleaning job, please. You are expected to look for a decent job. And let me tell you this, all those people who are telling you that now they have eased the regulations, that you do not need to find a job related to your course, please just be careful. Because if you studied environmental science and you are going to work in the public administration sector in Germany, no employer will employ you, please. No employer will employ you. So it all goes down to the same thing. You need to find a job in your own field of studies, because the employer will need you to have some experience before they employ you, or the company will need you to have an experience. So whatever you learned during your bachelor's degree or your master degree, if this doesn't correspond to what the employer is expecting, then in the first place you'll be disqualified. You will not be accepted for you to even get a contract and go to the Ausländerbehörde for them to approve your visa. No. So I hear a lot of people say that they have changed the system. Now you do not need to find, but formerly you were, they require that you get a job related to what you study. Then you can be, your visa can be approved, okay? You can be given a normal visa, okay? Or a resident permit. Then you proceed on to get your permanent residence whilst you are a worker, right? But this hasn't changed. Please be very careful. This hasn't changed. You still need to find a job in your field of studies. So if you have learned maybe political science, and you did alongside with the political science, you did a private course in maybe IT, and then you have a certificate to prove that you did a course in IT. Now, when you complete school, if you are going to find a job, then you can give this certificate. If it's an IT company, you can give the certificate, this IT certificate, to them that you have done IT. In that case, okay, though your master degree or your bachelor degree is not related to IT, but you did some private course, some professional course, or whatever course, and then you have a certificate to that effect, then the employer can employ you, or the company can employ you. But do not think that people are saying, this is what I really do not understand, giving false information. People are saying that you 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 do not need to get a job. So once you studied maybe environmental science and uh, you go to any other company, and then they give you um, an employment contract, then you can go to the Ausländerbehörde and get your residence permit. Okay, but you should know that even before you get the employment contract, the employer will not give you that employment contract if you don't have any idea about what you are coming to do in the company. Please take notes. In the UK, for example, there is now an implemented policy that students should stay 2 years after their graduation, because at first you couldn't stay for more than 6 months. So just after that time, you need to come back to your home country. But now you are supposed to stay for like 2 years after your graduation. Period of time, you are also supposed to look for a job. Okay, look for a job, and if you get a job, you are also allowed to stay in the country. Okay, health system. So Germany has a mandatory public health system. Okay, just a mandatory public health system. And it's also, it also includes students, but students are um, they are of the choice to choose between, they have that luxury to choose between private or public health insurance. Yeah, so if you want the private, you go for it. If you want the public, you go for it. For the private, shouldn't be more than 80 euros a month as a student. So it depends on the insurance type that you sign on to. Okay, and of course the public health insurance is also should also not be more than 200 euros as a student. So it depends. It also depends on your age. If you are 18, less than 30 years, then you pay up to 170. It depends on the insurance. But if you are above 30 years, then you pay a little bit more. It also depends on the insurance that you would sign on to. That is the public health insurance. But the private health insurance is not even up to 150 euros. Okay, it's just less. All right. And I have given the advantages and disadvantages of the public and the private health insurance in my video, so please go watch them. Okay, I have done a video on that. And this also gives you the access to like best healthcare in the system. So if you have this health insurance, you do not have to pay anything. Okay, once you go to the hospital, you do not have to pay anything. But with the private health insurance, it depends on what you sign on. Once you go to the hospital, as I said, the bill will be given to you, and you will just send this to your health provider. Now it could be that what you the cost the cost could be divided, and then the health provider will take like 90% and you will take like 10%. So you still have to add a little to it for the private health insurance, but with the public is free. Look at for UK. For UK, the national health system is included in your visa application fee. Not be available for free. You will not be treated for free. You might need to add a little to what you are, a small charge, okay, to what you have paid already. All right, yeah. So that is the differences. It depends on like which, okay, so whatever you go to the hospital to do, you might need to add a little more to it, and that is it. Employment after graduation. Okay, both countries are good places where you can get employment after graduation. Okay, but in the UK, okay, very very competitive than in Germany. In Germany, they have opened access. They just have open access to jobs and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of you getting um, a job related to what you have studied. One more time, I'll have to hit on that. A job related to what you have studied, and you are good to go. Okay, but in UK, the competition is very high. Okay, and mind you, it is doable. You also get a job in the UK, because one thing you should see is that if you speak English already, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, now if you're in the UK and for instance, your 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 course, okay, the course that you've studied is not permitting you, it's not opening opportunities for you to get a decent job. You can switch to any other place because of the language, right? So you can do certain things because you understand the language and you can maneuver to get something to do during this 2 years period. Okay, so if you are there are also opportunities. There are opportunities in the UK that you can also tap on and like get. Okay, but in Germany, the language is one big barrier. So even as an international student, when you come, the opportunities are also there, but sometimes you do not even know where to get to to get this opportunity because the language is very, very difficult and you do not understand the language. Most of us, like most of the international students, do not we do not get the language, or except for those students who do their master degree or bachelor degree in the German language. Okay, for them, they understand the language very well, so they are able to maneuver and go far. Okay, but if you do your master degree or bachelor degree in the English language, then it means you have to still learn the German language, which is kind of very stressful. And the language is very, very difficult. I will not lie to you. The language is very difficult. So it does not even give you the opportunity to explore more, because where you are going to explore is where you meet the language. And in fact, the zeal for you to even learn the language or read about those things, it's not there. Okay, and wherever you get to a place, you have to translate. It's kind of hectic. Okay, so that is the difference. But I feel that in the UK, since you have the language, okay, so you can maneuver through and find out what suits you or what is best for you after school. You get my point. Okay, but in Germany, but people are trying, though. People are trying, but it's just that um someone has to hint you. Okay, so for instance, if I have passed through a system that I know that okay, this is okay, then I will just pass on the information to one person, and the other person just passes on the information. Okay, so that is the problem in Germany here. The language is a very, very big issue. Yeah. All right, so let's look at, yes, of course, the language barrier is what I have explained. Yeah, and let's look at the culture. So for the culture, both countries have rich culture, and I must say there are a lot of good things in Germany, a lot of good things in UK that you should also go and look at. For instance, in Germany, they have the when you come to Cologne, for instance, they have the carnival. Okay, the biggest the biggest celebration, the carnival, and it's very fun to look at during those periods where they are celebrating. Okay, and in the UK also, amazing music bands and stuff like that, which you can also enjoy, such as the Beatles and One Direction. So um both countries are just amazing. Okay, they are amazing countries which you should take a look at. So my final question is that should you study in the UK or in Germany? Well, I chose Germany and I came to Germany. So uh, my reasons were that the tuition fee in UK was is very, very, because I also applied to schools in UK and I couldn't afford the tuition fees. Not only in the UK, I also applied in Canada. I couldn't afford the tuition fee. Okay, so my option was to come to Germany. Yeah. So it's actually because of the tuition fee that I had to land up in Germany. And then since I had to land up, I definitely had to learn the language. So what's your thought about this? Please, if you have any comments, drop your comments in the comment section and let's all discuss it. If you think that Germany is better than UK, drop it in the comment section. If you think UK is better than Germany, drop it in the comment section and let's all discuss, because it's kind of, yeah, people are saying UK has like big tuition fee, high tuition fee. Germany does not have a like any tuition fee, but the language, UK speaks English, Germany German, and kind of is the language is a barrier. Okay, so at the end, what do you think, guys? Please, as I said, drop your comments in the comment section and let's all discuss this issue. So if you were thrilled and you liked the video, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them. If you have any questions, please, as I always said in my video, I read every comment. And if you have a question, I give a response to every question in my videos. Thank you so much for watching. The name still remains Ishbin Alphonsine. I love you all. Bye.